Namaste. Welcome to the second day of World Dance Day celebration. In fact, today is the World Dance Day. Yesterday, we had an ensemble of four great artists, four young, great, and vibrant artists in Mohiniyattam, Manipuri, Hatriya, and Kathakali. We discussed two topics about Lasya Tandava and Nritya Natyokti. Today, we're having four senior gurus with us discussing over two topics, the Katha Kalaksheba and Saundarya Lahari. At first, we have Katha Kalaksheba. I request Charu Sananji, our moderator, to take over.
Namaskar and my pranams to all who are watching live on Speak McKay's YouTube channel. My name is Charu Sanan and on behalf of Speak McKay, I welcome all on board. Today we are privileged and honored to have two very beautiful dancers, Shobna Narayanji and Geeta Chandranji. Guru Dr. Shobna Narayan is perhaps the only example of a person who has relentlessly pursued two parallel exacting professional careers, achieving distinction and great heights in both. Not only she is India's most eminent and venerated Kathak Guru performer choreographer, but she has also served in the civil services Indian audit accounts till her retirement. An MSc in physics and holding two MPhil degrees and a Doctor of Letters, she is a keen educationist and a research scholar who has served and is serving on various governing bodies of prestigious academic institutions. She has authored over 16 books, several research papers, and well over 200 articles. Shona has been decorated by the Government of India with the Padma Shri Award in 1992, Sangeet Natak Academy Award in 2001, and Delhi's Government Parishad Samman in 1992, besides being a recipient of over 37 national and international awards. She is acknowledged as a classical example of true Kathak, multifaceted and dynamic, presenting a change in today's spectator. Her life, her works, her dignity, and demeanor have made her a role model and peer for millions of girls for the younger generations of today. Guru Geeta Chandranji, a celebrated artist, star performer, and reputed Natya Acharya, Bharatnatyam multiplier, Geeta Chandranji skillfully weaves abstract notions of joy, beauty, values, aspirations, myth, and spirituality. Geeta is the founder president of Natya Vriksha and is artistic director of a Natya Vriksha dance company. In her effort to end dance the universe, she engages in a strategic range of dance related activities performing, teaching, conducting, singing, collaborating, organizing, writing, and speaking to new youth audiences. Niche interests include environmental protection, gender equity issues, hygiene and cleanliness arts, education, and being a spokesperson for larger cultural issues that affect artists. She is a member on several schools and college boards and of Government of Indian committees. She is a recipient of the Padma Shri in 2007, Sangeet Natak Academy Award 2016, and is Tagore National Fellow 2019 and 2020. I welcome both of you once again and my pranams and Charan Spash on this very special day and wish you both and everybody a very happy World Dance Day, ma'am. I welcome both of you on board. And over to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your thoughts on Katha Kalashepa, the art of storytelling. Shobna, ma'am.
Katha Kalashepa. देखिए, as far as the word Katha Kalashepa is concerned, and the word Katha is concerned, and the name of my dance form is Kathak. Katha kahe so Kathak kehlaye. And with the result that every dance form, and particularly in India, and so be it with our classical dance form, and as far as Kathak is concerned, that we told a story through the medium of expressions, and so it was a means of communication. And this entire means of communication was again communicating. One was with the spiritual level with God, and the other one at the same time is with the audience. And so with the Rasikas, those were because traditionally the Kathak community only performed in temples, and in fact still do in the temples of Ayodhya, you can still see them performing. In the other temples of little places in UP, you can still see them. And their performances have a very different flavor to the performances that we do it on a proscenium, because there's always been a difference between how we do it on a proscenium as well as in a and in the temple. So that whole rasa is different, that whole feeling is different, the vibration is different, the energy is different. Having said that, now when we're talking about dance, and particularly more so in Indian classical dance, every gesture, every movement, every glance has a meaning. Nothing is without a meaning. And in fact, in our field, and particularly in Kathak, one of the ways is that if I take a line of a song or a word, how many times can I interpret it? That is called bhavavatana. And so many different ways of interpreting it. And that aspect, then I can take one word also and can spend just on the different layers of interpretation, whether it is the literal, whether it is the symbolic, or whether it is the philosophical. So, at different layers of interpretation. Now, this is as far as a text is concerned, say a word or a line or a phrase or a whole pad itself or a bhajan itself or whatever. But even for us in Kathak, the rhythmic part of it is also speaking, because there is a pure rhythm part of it, which each rhythmic pattern has a life of its own. It is not just a supporting. We don't. Yes, in the when we are emoting a thumri out or a pad out or a bhajan, it's the supporting part of it. But in the pure rhythmic section, each pattern has a life, and therefore that also tells a story. How the force of our feet, through that we are communicating, the force of our the movement, even the rhythmic patterns are actually telling a story. So there is an abhinay even within the rhythmic pattern. There is also abhinay in our footwork. It's not just banging of feet or going out, doing rhythmic patterns, but in with seasoned kalakars, with seasoned artists, every pattern also starts telling you a story. So you have this whole that everything is communicating. Through that communication, I am connecting with God. And in fact, very interestingly, one of the unique poses in Kathak, which is extremely unique to Kathak, is that because I am the medium, here is God, and the leelas of God I present before you, and so we get this movement. So every aspect of our performance has a symbolism, is telling a katha in its own way. Even in the abstraction, there is katha. Even in the textual, there is katha. Even in the abhinay. So everything has bhav, everything has ras, because anything that you're doing, each one has bhav and ras in it. Without that, it's incomplete. So it is not only one aspect, but we are traversing through a whole gamut. And in that, I think it's an experience, it's a whole world by itself. We always say that even the way we, in our each pattern, let's say in the nritta portion, um, every pattern has a life of its own. It has a beginning, it has a this thing, and an end, a finality. But in between, the traversing part, the path that traverses. For example, if I have to take a rhythmic pattern, now how it tells a story. Abhinay to you understood. If I'm saying काहे रोकत जगर प्यारे और कान्हा बिन सुनी लागे नगरिया, I can take one line and say कान्हा बिन और काहे को, and we can play on the commas also. छेड़ो हटो जाओ, हटो जाओ ना, छेड़ो ना शाम. Now I can even change my commas and I say हटो जाओ छेड़ो ना शाम. Earlier I said हटो जाओ छेड़ो ना शाम. And now I can say, Hato jao, Hero na sham. So now how the whole context changes according to just a little punctuation and the little emphasis. So everything is so emotive. And even when I said in the rhythmic pattern, it is emotion. It is again, a pattern can speak. If I am saying, da kit, da da kit, da da kit, kit, titta, kita, diki. Now here also I'm saying, or if I'm using, if I, Harihar Parans, etc., are also telling a story. The feet of the pattern, I'm telling a story. I can even get up and say that here it is. It tells a story. It tells you something. It's communicating something. So each one, and again in one word. I remember I'll just share a small experience. No, I won't do that experience, but I'll just say that Atariya pe chad gayi, main ho gayi badnaam. That's one phrase of a very well-known this thing. And it, जब अगर आप कोई हिंदी जानता है तो कहेगा अटरिया पे चढ़ना मतलब कि वो आप कोठे की बात कर रहे हैं, you are talking about the ladies in that, because their rooms are on top. But so one is that, but now if I'm looking at it in a different way, that here is the sindoor. जब तक वो डिब्बे में बंद है, it is closed. But the moment I take it out, and अटरिया पे चढ़ी है, she's climbing. So and I put it in my mug, in the parting of my forehead. Ho gayi badnaam. People come to know of my existence, that I'm a married woman. So this is just one way of how a word or a phrase can be interpreted. And if I suppose I go into the philosophical realm also, or another realm, that Atarya, here is the candle being lit. And this, I'm the Shama at that time, the flame. And the moment the flame is lit, she has climbed up the stair and ho gayi badnaam because it's there. And the moment I blow it out, I see the spiraling smoke. And so I know that she had been, so it is also telling a story that she had been lit. And the journey, the moment Atariya pe chad gayi, I have climbed this. Main ho gayi badnaam. The corpse is going. And so everybody knows that the corpse is going. So because we have transit, the soul has also climbed the stair to another level. So we have so many different ways of bhav batana. Of course, and of course, the Sanchari bhavs are there, which is normally done by everyone. But also in the rhythmic patterns, how each pattern tells a story, how each pattern has the so-called intangible even has a feel about it, has an emotion about it, of bhav and a rasa. So it's not only the textual, but every aspect in Kathak has a bhav and rasa, and without it, there's no dance. That's it.
वाह दीदी, कितनी खूबसूरती से आपने इस आर्ट ऑफ स्टोरी टेलिंग, कथा कहे सो कथक या कथा कहे सो कथक कहावे को समझाया. गीता जी, आप अपने इस पे थॉट्स बताइए कथा आर्ट ऑफ स्टोरी टेलिंग पे.
I come from another style, which is Bharatanatyam, and it comes from Tamil Nadu. And Katha Kalakshepam, the word itself comes from Tamil Nadu. And it is the entire storytelling with song, with dramatization, but it's a solo, Katha Kalakshepam is a solo art form that is done in from hours on end. Mythological themes are picked up, stories are picked up, and it's explained to the audience. Firstly, happy World Dance Day. Today is World Dance Day, and surely we are all missing dancing. So thank you to Speak McKay for asking us to come and at least speak and share our experiences. I thank Speak McKay for that. And I'd like to begin with what is the purpose of dance? We have 3 namaskars that we do. One namaskar here to the Almighty, one namaskar here to the Guru, and one namaskar here to the Sahridayis, the audience. So I think dance works in these 3 levels. The ultimate aim, as Shobna ji so beautifully put it, is to take the Sahridayis to that level of experience, which is sublime, which is soul nurturing, and which is an aesthetic coming together. So when we talk about storytelling, or when we talk about katha in Natyam, because I've been told by many seniors not to address Bharatanatyam as dance, but to call it Natyam. And I think, yes, it's correct. Natyam is the word to use for in our context. And we have to look for vocabulary that suits our context of performing arts. So Natyam is what I will refer to as my style. And in Natyam, I think dance, the whole construct is that Shiva is the dancer and he is also the dance. So Angikam Bhuvanam, when you say, his body is the entire universe. That's what it is said. Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam. Every sound that you hear is his manifestation. Aharim Chandra Taradiyan. The entire cosmos is his aharya or his adornment. Such a Satvika Shiva, I pray to you. So the ultimate aim is Satvika Abhinaya. The Abhinaya has to actually move people. It has to have a purpose. And it has to first refine the artist, and then it has to be translated onto the audience. Now coming to Katha. How do we have the entire storytelling in my Natyam? We have many tools. The two main tools I feel are, first is Sahitya and second is Sangeetam. Sahityam and Sangeetam. These two are the basic tools that we have. To that, we add the tool of Natyam. The exercise of hastas, of your entire body, your face, your eyes, your entire angikam, the entire body surrenders to that storytelling purpose. So I think these three things combine together to bring the effect of how you tell a story. So sometimes the Sahityam becomes the base of how do you tell a story. The words, the lines, the context, the entire placement of a particular line is explored. First, you explore the word, then you explore the line. What is the meaning of the entire line? Then you see how that line fits in the entire poetry. And then start telling where you have to tell a story, where you have not to tell a story, but yet communicate just the basic lines. I think that is left to the intelligence of the artist. And we've always had choices that the dancer makes at various points of time. So as Shobna ji just said, it could be a word that you take and you could elaborate it. And for me, I think many times it's also the music that dictates why I do a particular elaboration in a particular way, because the line, the Sahitya and the music lends itself so beautifully that you feel like extolling that particular phrase more and more. And even in when you tell a story, there are two things. One is the line meaning that you say, which is the basic that is taught. The second is the next level of exploring what is that in the line that you need to elaborate. And the third is the context. It could be Shringara, it could be Bhakti Shringara. What are you going to take in it and tell? And as far as Bharatanatyam is concerned, we are very fortunate to have wonderful formats which are taken from Carnatic music. So when we teach Abhinaya to a young dancer, we start introducing Abhinaya in the Shabdam. And in the Shabdam itself, there is storytelling that comes in. I learned my first Saptam in Sarasijakshulu Jalakamade. And Sarasijakshulu Jalakamade Karuna Munanivu Adhatiki Jane Sarikachiralu Melache Kuni Tarune Kuta Juchuchuntuta Dharmama. Now just saying that Krishna steals the clothes away and goes and sits in a tree, and he laughs at all of them. And the gopis ask, is this fair on your part? Now, this is just the first line that is taught. Now, it is left to the dancer. A senior dancer can do this for 15 to 20 minutes, the entire episode of how Krishna comes, how the gopis actually go for their ritual bath, and then how they are playing in the waters of the Yamuna, and how Krishna comes and he makes this potli and he puts it on the tree and he is playing the flute and looking elsewhere, and suddenly, so it's so flexible. And it is left to the artist to choose. And you can, the format of the Shabdam is such that you can not do the explanation and just do the line interpretation in many different ways with different hastas. That is also possible. So storytelling is not one linear way of doing it. You can do it in multiple ways. You can do it according to the musician who's accompanying you. If it's a very versatile musician who can sing beautiful Kamboji, then you ask the singer to just sing and you kind of build on the Abhinaya. Then the next format that comes is the Varnam. The Varnam is, again, it's a complete Natya composition where you have pure dance, you have Abhinaya, and of course the entire poem is one poem, so you need to kind of read the entire poem in its entirety and then break the lines up and see how you can link those lines. And it's very interesting that here how much of improvisation to do and how much of line interpretation to do. This is a very, very delicate balance that comes with experience and with also seeing what kind of audience you have. Sometimes it's a very discerning audience, you feel like doing a different format. Sometimes it's an uninitiated audience, so you play with the vocabulary of the dance. And normally in a Varnam, it is Shringara or Bhakti or Shringara Bhakti. And so it is, the context is the Nayika either talking to the Sakhi or talking to the Lord directly about her situation in love. So here, normally the storytelling, if you say just what is story, actually we got to define what is story. Is it only when you talk about the mythological part of it, is that only story? Or even a situation where two people are talking, that's also story. That is also a kind of a story that we build and we construct. So there, when you talk about the greatness of the Nayaka, there is a story that comes in. You say how great he is, these are the deeds he did. So you literally have to link it. It's not, no story just can hang like that. You have to connect it and bring it into the main lines of the poetry. Sometimes the poetry itself indicates or it suggests something. You've got to be smart enough to pick up that suggestion and build on that. Of course, then we have Padams, Javlis and Kirtanams. These are really open to interpretation, particularly Kirtanams. People have been using that nowadays all the more, using to tell stories, because Padams, Javlis, you don't get that much of a facility to actually tell stories. It's more about your intensity of Abhinaya connected with Sahitya and music that is in test in the Padam and the Javli. So, but in a Kirtana, it's open, it could be any Sahitya. And today I find many people taking up new poetry and trying to bringing it into dance and creating contemporary stories. So stories are of various kinds. It could be mythological stories. It could be this new thing of contemporary reality that you bring into dance with contemporary stories. So stories and stories, many, many different kinds of stories. And Natyam, I think, offers this great opportunity for you to, as a soloist, to be able to be on stage and be the narrator and make people travel with you, telling the story and taking it forward. So there, of course, you can't differentiate how you're using the body. Sometimes the face is the main vehicle of telling the story. Sometimes it's the hastas that help you tell the story. Sometimes it is an exaggerated movement that helps you tell the story. So I think this entirety of the Angik Abhinaya that we say, for which you are trained very specifically and very systematically, you're trained to actually approach this whole aspect of storytelling. And this is most fascinating because when you play characters, And what is very, very unique about our classical styles is that however much we want to communicate, we don't compromise on the aesthetics of the stylized abhinaya vocabulary. That's very important. So it's not like simple two people talking. It's a stylized vocabulary that we use to tell the story. So that stylization is ingrained in the spine of the dancer when she's trained. That's why you'll see that the lokadharmi, or the very, very obvious kind of abhinaya, or the what we call lokadharmi, is not really used in the classical. We use a very, very, so if you have to do you have an extended you. So it's a very beautiful way of learning, of sharing. And we've had audiences really in splits sometimes when we do Ninda Stuti or a very hilarious character on stage. Yet, I think you keep the pristine purity of the style as you say, whatever you say. It could be a very trivial thing, but yet that thing of auchitam is always done, is used by the dancer to say something, but say it aesthetically.
Well, that was so beautifully explained, the art of storytelling in two different art forms. So we have few questions now here. Shobna ma'am, first question is for you. How has the art of storytelling evolved from the time it originated in the 4th century BC to the time you took up the training and in the present scenario? Does the present generation believe or enjoy learning the traditional art of storytelling, or they look for instant results?
Well, see, as far as the training is concerned, they're all given training. They're all given training in both all aspects, in the complete format. Now, how you've got the tool in your hand, how their younger generations, how each artist would like to concentrate on X factor or Y factor or Z factor, at which speed and what, it depends from artist to artist. And as far as how has it changed over the period of time, I would say the Atma has remained the same. The Atma has remained the same. I cannot say what the format was in 4th century BC, at the time when that inscription was written. Gangai Mahanadiye Tatte Sabo Kathaka Dhingar Natenan Stuti Tisi Kayam Ehi Raya Adi Naho Bhavenam Pase. So here again, you're saying they were doing a storytelling through the stuti, through all the devotional songs. Even earlier in the Mahabharata period, Katakascha pare rajan shravanascha vanaukasa divyakyanani yechapi pathanti matundaja. So there again was storytelling. You are telling a story through the medium of abhinay and bhava and rasa. So again, the whole thing was communication. So what was the format? I can only go to sculptures to look at it, to see the continuity. And we have sculptures available from the Maurya period, from 3rd century BC, which shows a complete continuity in the stance, how it is the stance that the Kathak had then and has it today. So there's complete continuity. You can also see it in the costume. We think, that kurta pajama came in the medieval period, but you have the nutties of that, the sculptures of that time. So I presume that there are certain aspects, but of course we all evolve. Everybody evolves. Every dance style has evolved. To say that it was exactly the same would be different. So now the concentration of on stage presentation is it depends on the artist himself. And another thing is that X is moved by this, Y is moved by this, and then also reinterpretation. Look at all the mythological stories, how it is being revisited and given a contemporary and presented by senior artists and junior artists and all. I mean, thinking dancers with a very which has a contemporariness about it. So anything, I think it depends from the artist to artist, individual to individual. Training is there in all aspects, but the concentration of whether you want to do only the Rana part of it, concentrate on that, or because otherwise a full Kathak recital has all ingredients. In fact, like as the Sangeet Ratnakar says, that there has to be flexibility. Even so, we also have that flexibility of how to do it within that system. So we start with a Rangmanch Pravesh, and then we do pranam to all the Devi Devatas in all direction, do the Bhumi pranam, and to Akash and everybody, and then we just start with the Vandana Stuti, which is again emoting out, which is again reliving this the greatness of the great Almighty. And then if we go to the rhythmic section, which is again different aspect, then we have Gatnikas and Gatbhav. So there are even sections that even a Nikas is telling a story. Agar aapki chaal hai, how each chaal tells a story, it's different. So if you look at the Natya Shastra, it gives you the chals, the gatis, 36 of them, which Abhinay Darpan has codified into 10 categories. So that is also there. Gadbhav also we are doing it. Then you have the bhajan and thumris and pads. So each and every category is being done. And then you have the chaturang, etc. And so this is there. The entire, every artist, every dancer has been given training in all these aspects. But finally, if you're a artist, a dance has to come from within. The dancer has to live and breathe the dance. And that dancer has to think it's not just a showpiece that you do it. Every dancer, and therefore you have to live it, breathe it, and therefore once you're in it, you're living it and breathing it, automatically your feeling comes out and you express yourself in different ways. So there are different artists and it depends on each one of them, but training is there in every aspect of all-rounded training has been given to every student and is being imparted to everyone. But how each one takes it forward, it's like life. You're given trade. I mean, life gives you all the opportunities, but who takes what and sort of takes it forward? Somebody takes it in a totality, in a positive way, with all the training and all the aspects, and somebody just concentrates on some aspect. So it is the treatment is in each artist's hand, but by itself, it's very, very. And finally, the dancer has to sublimate the inner self to try and become one with dance. Then only will that rasa come out. And the whole emphasis, in fact, even in the Natya Shastra, when you're talking about storytelling, the first chapter of the Natya Shastra starts with that, the purpose of Natya Ved. Why was the Natya Shastra written? The purpose of Natya Ved. Why did Shankar even teach? So, I mean, his whole Tandav. And the whole thing is that when everybody was going astray, I mean, it was to bring them all together into one path and to connect them into the path of values that the Natya Ved was created. So, which again is the audiovisual medium, goes straight to the heart. So everything has a purpose. Nothing is without a purpose. And I think our classical arts are beautiful because each and every form, from top to bottom, they were all born in the temples of different regions of the country. All actually are storytelling, each one of them, in their own different ways. Each one of them is a dedication to God, and it's a path, a bhakti mark to attain, to elevate your inner self. And what is the path through that is, you are retelling the deeds and the virtues of our gods, so that you one through that imbibes that values of what that particular episode is telling you. So these are there, and yes, rhythmic. instant applause I think, fascinates a person when they're very young, and the energy of youth is there, whether it's in X dance form or Y dance form. But as I've noticed that the moment there a little bit of maturity comes in, I think there is a different feel, because you understand that rasa, that bhav, that you're that wo andar se, you have to be immersed in it, and a different feeling comes out. So it's beautiful to see this transition in every artist's life and in every dancer's life.
Ji, thank you so much. That was so beautifully explained. And my next question to Geeta ji, आपके लिए next question है. Both Kathak and Bharatnatyam are temple dance forms. Kathak is believed to have originated, as its name suggests, an inherent feature of storytelling. It was a dance form that started from a storytelling tradition that moved to a classical dance form. Is there any such history or any style like the Melatur style developed by Mangudi Durai Raja Iyer from the Melatur Bhagwata Mela, where storytelling became an intrinsic feature of Bharatanatyam?
Uh,
Your voice.
Sorry. Bharatanatyam is a very recent term. It had many other names before it was called Bharatanatyam. What you see today is only about 100 years old, a reconstructed form of the dance. So, Bhagavata Mela, Sadir, there were so many other forms that got integrated, and what you see today has elements of all these. And what is beautiful is that today, the form as you see it today, used to have different gharanas or different great gurus who are associated with different towns, different parts of Tamil Nadu, Tanjavur or Mellatur or Vazhavur or Managudi. So, but these all these gurus came from different places, and my guru came from Tanjavur, and she was from the Sevela community. You know that they belong to a community, and only they practiced this dance, and they were allowed to dance in the temple as Devadasis, and it was much later that the dance came out and democratized. And as you see today, the format of the Margam was given by the Tanjavur Quartet. And today, even the Margam is being challenged, because I think the youngsters are wanting to do something beyond the Margam. And they're taking wonderful poetry texts which have not been explored before. So I think dance evolves, Natyam evolves. So nothing is kind of boxed in any, because even what you see today, what we call tradition, and what the way it is, it's also highly questionable what is tradition, because my teacher belonged to a tradition before the structural, the way it was reconstructed. So she had a problem with this reconstructed dance form. So I think what is tradition, where it is coming from, and where do you draw the lines, what is new, what is old, is all extremely debatable. And I think, as Shobna ji beautifully put it, it is the artist's intelligence. Yamini Akka beautifully put it that this is a flowing river, and you take a handful from it and offer it right back into the river. So we all take that handful, we all explore it, we all enjoy that beautiful experience, and then offer it back to the river. So the river is changing course all the time. At best, what we can say is the banks are defined, and there is a certain grammar, there is a certain geometry to the style. Of course, that's not compromisable, but I think the content, the way it is said, is all changing and evolving, and it has to evolve, because dance is not something, Natyam is not something that you can freeze in a time frame and say this is it, and no addition or taking away can happen. So we have to move with time, but I think there is a larger construct or frame within which we work. And as Shobna ji rightly said, the tradition is taught with a frame of reference and with a certain reference point for the artist. The grammar is taught as it was taught to us by our teachers, by our gurus. And while teaching, we don't compromise. We see that the tradition or the reference point is what the gurus have taught us. And from there, how you journey or how you want to take it forward is, I think, left. Even our teachers never told us that you cannot change things around or explore with rhythm or with sahitya. They would always tell us that this is something that I have been taught, I have been practicing. Now you see if it works for you, or we can always kind of tweak it, play with it. So art is something that's not really इसका एक हवा नहीं बनाना है हमको इसके साथ खेलना है और मजा इसका लेना है. तो मुझे लगता है that element of fun through the arts is a very important aspect, and we should not see it as something draconian and that it is just that and nothing beyond that, and I have to get that right. Yes, you have to get it right, but then you learn the technique and then you forget the technique and then you fly. You have to learn to fly. As Shobna ji rightly said, वो जो एक रस में डूबने वाली बात है, the whole thing coming you it's not something outside of you. That experience is beautiful, but for that there is a lot of rigor that goes into it and a lot of patience, and that is where I think dancers today are extremely talented, but that patience has to be there to stay the course and to experience the highs and the lows and take it forward.
जी, आर्ट फॉर्म इनफैक्ट कोई भी हो, जब अगर उसके रस में डूब जाएंगे और उसके साथ खेलना शुरू करते हैं, तब उसका असली मजा आता है. और शोभना जी, अगला क्वेश्चन आपके लिए है. व्हाट वाज रियाज फॉर यू व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड डांसिंग, एंड नाउ हाउ डू यू सी इन आज की युवा पीढ़ी? इफ यू कुड शेयर योर एक्सपीरियंस लर्निंग फ्रॉम योर गुरुजी एंड विद अ लिटिल अभिनय, इफ यू कुड जस्ट शो अ लिटिल अभिनय ऑफ योर्स.
See, as far as the Riyaz was concerned, I think for a dedicated student, तभी हम लोग जो करते थे, घंटों लगाते थे. I remember कि स्टेज पर जाने की जल्दी नहीं होती, गुरुज अलाउ नहीं करते थे, क्योंकि आप एक चीज, जब महाराज जी, I remember teaching, कि एक चीज जब तक वो सही ना हो, sometimes it took a long time. He did not move to the second piece, to this next pattern. I mean, everything had to be crystal clear, with clarity of movements, with the aesthetics of movements, sahi, with the clarity of footwork, with its own aesthetics, sahi. So everything had to be. But sometimes there are students and students and students. Even then there were students and students and students, and there were few of us who were at it the way our gurus were telling us. And they're here today also. There are students and students. There are some who are in a hurry, but there are others who are so dedicated, and they do their sadhana, they do their riyaz. So in spite of all the whatever all the other things that they have to, even in spite of all that busy life that today's world is required of them in today's world, yet it's amazing to see, exam or no exam, the academics or something, they are at it. Their sadhana and riyaz continues exactly the way we had, some of us, because as I said, they are students. So every generation has had students and students, and things are no different. Only zamana changes, but things remain the same. And as far as Abhinay is concerned, what do you want to see? Agat Bhav?
Anything. मतलब कुछ भी आपकी चॉइस है.
आप बोलिए, बताइए. लेकिन क्योंकि अब म्यूजिशियन तो है नहीं. इमेजिन फॉर एनी डांस फॉर्म, अगर तबला वाला वहाँ, पखावज वाला उधर से, और वहां से गाने वाला आएगा वहां से, वो टाइम लैग से जो है ना, वो कभी साथ नहीं होगा.
चलिए एक गत भाव भी दिखा दीजिए, छोटा सा एक.
अच्छा, चलिए. लेकिन पहले तो मुझे देखना है कि अगर मेरे पास रिकॉर्डिंग पे है भी कि नहीं. होल्ड ऑन. आप अच्छा, मैं करती.
You take my question By then she can be ready.
All right, okay,
Okay.
ma'am. So the next question,
I'm
Geeta
ready.
ji, for you is storytelling. Geeta ji, next question is for you. All right.
Yes.
Is storytelling only the abhinay of the
I'm ready.
dancer and the lyrics? Oh, she's ready. Should I take this question with you?
नहीं उनका कर लीजिए.
I think
Acha.
I'm ready. So just I found something. So should I start? I'll do a Garbhav.
Ji, ma'am.
This is a popular one called Draupadi Chirharan. If I get up, I hope you all will be able to see. Can you all see me if I'm dancing over here?
Hemant?
Can you see me?
Ji, ma'am. Ji.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll put this on. It is a Garbhav on Draupadi Chirharan. Okay.
Wow, that was beautiful. That was beautiful from
हम लोग
Mahabharata.
कथा
So,
वाले जो है ना, हमारे पास रिकॉर्डिंग होती नहीं है क्योंकि हम लोग करते ही नहीं है रिकॉर्डिंग्स पे.
Ji. So, can I go on the next question, Geeta ji, for you? Is storytelling only the abhinay of the dance and the lyrics of the accompanying music, or is there more to it?
Well, it is the lyric and the music and the accompanying bits that you just saw in Shobhana ji's case that there were no lyrics. It was just rhythm. That rhythm had created, and of course the lehra was there and that was going on, but basically it was to rhythm that the whole thing happened. So there are various techniques. Somewhere we use rhythm, somewhere we use just the lyrics, somewhere we use the melody also, just the melody. So it's different ways of doing the same thing. I thought I'll do a Tamil padam, which is again
please. Yeah. I was just going to ask you for a little abhinay, if you could.
This is what I've been teaching young students to of mine. So I this is all the gopis coming to Yashoda and complaining about Krishna and saying, why we've never seen a kid like this, what to do with this fellow. So it is Utukada Venkateswara, a very famous composition. It's a lovely Todi Ragam. Taye Yashoda Undanaya Kula Tudita Mayan Gopala Krishnan Sheyum Jalatai Keladitaye Yashoda Undan Ayat Kula Tudita Mayan Gopala Krishnan Sheyum Jalatai Kedaditaye Yashoda Mundan Ayat Kula Tudita Mayan Gopala Krishnan Sheyum Jalatai Keladi Taye. Now this is just coming and complaining. Anupallavi goes Tayyale Keladi. What all he does, you can't even imagine what all he does. And he's a one piece. You can't find another like him in the three worlds. Such is his. So when you say that what he Tayyale Keladi, Tayyale means what are his deeds that he does. Now this is the point where we take the Sanchari. We say what are those deeds which are bothering these gopis about which they have come to tell Yashoda. Tayyalai keladi mundan payanai polave inda Vayagatil Oru Pillai Ammanan கண்டதில்லை. தையலை கேளடி உங்கள் பையனை போலவே இந்த வையகத்தில் ஒரு பிள்ளை அம்மம்மா நான் கொண்டதில்லை. தையலை கேளடி 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 முதல் பையனை போலவே தையலை கேளடி முதல் பையனை போலவே இந்த வையகத்தில் ஒரு பிள்ளை அம்மம்மா நான் கண்டதில்லை. தையலை கேளடி தையலை கேளடி தையலை கேளடி உந்தன் தையலை கேளடி உந்தன் என்னை போலவே தையலை கேளடி உந்தன் பையனை போலவே இந்த வையகத்தில் ஒரு பிள்ளை அம்மம்மா நான் கண்டதில்லை. தையலை கேளடி உந்தன் தையலை கேளடி உந்தன் பயனை வளர்வே இந்த தையலை கேளடி உந்தன் பயனை போலவே இந்த பயகத்தில் ஒரு பிள்ளை அம்மம்மா நான் கண்டதில்லை. தாயே யசோதா உந்தன் ஆயர்குல துதித மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் செய்யும் ஜாலத்தை கேளடி தாயே.
That was beautiful, Krishna, in two different art forms. So now I have a question for both of you, one common question. How do you connect with the audience, especially with today's generation as audience, who may be not interested in classical music or dance? Do you keep the presentation in mind as per the audience, or you like to perform something of your own choice, unless it's a theme-based show or a performance? So Shobna ji, you may start with the answer.
Actually, when you're talking about connecting with the younger audience, first of all, it is to get rid of the fear of the unknown. Most of the younger audience, the word classical, they're not familiar with it because it is not as part of the growing up process. In my house, it was part of our growing up process. Sahitya was part of our growing up process. Our music and dance was part of our, my training at So that was something different. But today's children, I think, in a lot of families, because of whatever be the reason, I'm not saying any specific. So there is a fear of the unknown with the word classical. So the first is to break that barrier, and the moment you're able to communicate with them, that you break that barrier, that fear barrier, and then they start understanding. I'll quote a personal example that when I was studying I was in the university doing physics honors and then MSc physics. Every evening they said, "What do you do?" So I said, "I've got to run for my riyas, etc., etc." So they said, "What is this?" Blah. And so finally I said, "What, because they were all hardcore science varieties." So once or twice I told a lot of them, I said, "Chalo, come with me to a performance." In the beginning, a couple of them resisted, but they went. And finally, they got so hooked onto it, that today all of us are unable to attend most of the performance because we are busy performing ourselves with our own commitments. But I find these people going there. So it is a question of how you're able to, and the artists also have to reach out to them. And I find that today most of the artists, if not all, but most of the artists are reaching out to all kinds of audience, trying to overcome this bridge of a chasm chasm that is there between the minds and the of the people, and it's reaped wonderful results. I think Geeta ji will tell you that, and in that I would say Speakmaker has done a remarkable job of bringing the artists and the uninitiated youngsters together many of whom, larger section, who do not know anything about dance. And so now, if they're like the Geeta ji has just done the beautiful Padam, now each and every movement, if they understand it, and suddenly then they start understanding, and then once they start they start relishing it, then they derive the rasa. So I find that today's artists, most of the artists, are able to communicate, and you have to talk in their language. You have to make them understand in their language. I'm just quoting a very lay example. These people, when you are youngsters, if they say that y'all are using so many gestures we do not understand. I mean, that's a normal thing. You artists are using so many gestures we don't know, because every mudra has something, and they think it's exotic. So I was saying, okay, now if you have to communicate from this end of the room to the other end. How do you do it without speaking? And that you have to asking the other one to call me up, and invariably everyone says this. So I said, what the hell is this? This is a mudra. This is a mudra. And this is what we are also using. I bet some style might use this as a mudra, some might use this as a mudra. So, so the moment they understand it, they are with you. You've already taken the first step in drawing the interest. Similarly, when they're thinking of mythology, they think, oh, it's Baba Dam ke zamane ka. Arre gaya, wo to kab ka hua tha, aaj it's not relevant today. But if you make them revisit and say, okay, here's the how will you look at it? Now, what I just did, a small little piece, I mean, it wasn't, which I don't know how much of you all can see it, because it's largely expressions, that Draupadi Chirharan. And if you see it in today's context, aaj coronavirus hai, COVID hai, kal ye hai, wo hai, falana. What is it? Because of all this pollution and environmental degradation, blah, blah, blah. So I said, if we are looking at it from that point of, you and I are today's Dushasan. And Draupadi and her cheer is the earth, Prithvi, with her environmental cover. So you and I become today's Dushasan. And there's a beautiful poem, Dushasan bas karo, dharti ka cheer haran mat karo, phir dwapar ko dohrane ka dussahas mat karo, Dushasan bas karo, bas karo, bas karo. So the moment you put it in a language that they're able to identify it with, the same thing, the same classical things that they are able to identify, you've already got the first step of the interest.
All right. Thank
Over
you
to
so
you,
much, Geeta ji, for over to you now.
The time is up, so I will
Yeah,
keep
I've
it
been
very
told the
brief.
time is up, but I've just requested for a few more minutes.
I'll just, I think Shobna ji has very rightly put it that it's the ignorance that they have never seen something classical. So I think I'll just keep it very short. When we go for a Spikmeke program, for example, they are actually bored. You can tell that they are sitting like this and they've been forced to actually come and attend the thing by their teachers and by the principal. So they think, oh God, what is this one going to do? This is the attitude. But by the end of the presentation, they don't want us to leave. So what is the reason for this? I think this is very simple, that they never been told or exposed to the beauty of classical dance, or viewed it so closely, or interacted with an artist, or had the freedom to ask questions. So I think this is not built into the curriculum. The sad part is that education has nothing in terms of classical music or dance, which is why I think this lack of information and this great mental block towards the classical, anything classical is boring, this kind of thing has come. So I think we have to change it from the source, which is basically we have to have in schools, we have to have exposure to what is our own, what is our tradition, folk, classical, whatever it is. That concerns have to be built from there. I think the problem is just that. It's just a lack of exposure. Suddenly you are in the airport and suddenly one girl comes and says, ma'am, I saw you perform in so and so year in so and so school and it was so lovely. After that I've started watching classic dance. So I think this is it basically, that we have disconnected it for many years. Now to connect again will take some time. So I have my own way of waking them up in a class, in a make a recital. You say, okay, how many of you know what is rap? And they'll say, oh, we all know what is rap. Then I'll just do a jati for them. Tadi kudi dikutaka ding gutaki tataka ding ding kukuta ding kukuta ding gutak kuding ding gutak kudragat talang kutaka. So I said rap has come from here, I feel. So you connect, as Shobna ji rightly said, that you put it in context what you're doing. Contextualization, I think, is very, very important, and I think artists are doing a great job. I think in a few years we will be again back on track with education also pitching in.
Thank you so much. The art of storytelling, Kathakala Shepa, so beautifully explained by both of you. And I think we need to wind up now. We are already, we have shot up and it's 8:05 now. So thank you, Hemant and Abhishek, for being an excellent coordinator. And thank you, ma'am, once again for being here and supporting Spikmake and for supporting us. And you were so patient. You were being so patient with us for the past few days. And Spikmake is your movement. It's our movement. Please do join the movement and please do join Spikmake. Thank you so much and wish you all a very happy World Dance Day once again. And please do stay tuned for our next session. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaskar to everyone, and again wishing everybody a happy World Dance Day. And let every day be a dance day. Each and every moment be a dance moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.